Check, 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 check. Oh, nice. It sounds like the microphone is actually working. That's incredible. Hey, Kraken's here. Beast Sniper's here. Oh, nice. Welcome to the stream, my friends. Down, 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 down. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, bow, bow. My day has been very good. Thank you guys for asking. Had a nice chill morning with my wife at home. Went on a little lunch date. Tried a new restaurant near the new house. I don't know if it's a new restaurant, but one that we hadn't yet been to. And came back, hung out around the house. Figured why not come and do some putting work. Kraken says, I have a question. I went golfing yesterday and sliced my driver every hole. If I sent you a video of my swing, could you help me? I definitely could, Kraken. We've had people do that on Instagram or email to me. Also, guys, I'm thinking about reopening an online lesson platform to have that option for people who are really serious about improving their game and want some more direct one-on-one type coaching with me. Same as here, Kraken. John Young Golf. I think it's John _Young _golf. Nice. Let's go. I'm going to get a few warm-up putts in here and then love the sandals. Thanks very much. Can't go wrong with Crocs, right? Super comfy. Then I think once we get some warm-up putts in, guys, we'll continue the streak. We made 250 consecutive putts in a row the other night. Oh no. And I want to see how many we can continue to make. Thanks for mixing that later. Anytime. There we go. Back on track. Can't be leaving putts short from 5 feet. Hey, Duende's here. Beast Sniper, do you ever get these viewers that post random emojis? Well, it looks like we just did. But I can't say that it happens regularly. Nice. Do 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 do. Not my best stroke, but still managed to start it online and get it to go. LOL, it happens regularly to me. Interesting. Hey, Gunner's here. Carrie wants to know, do you live in England? I do not live in England. Can't say I never would, though. I like the UK quite a bit. Oh, a superstar. Hello, Miss Lady. Hello, Miss Lady. Hi. Did you eat your breakfast? Did you eat your breakfast? Yeah? Yeah? Was it so yummy? Oh, see, you're knocking things over. She said, I'm so excited, Dad. I don't even care. Look, I'm going to wag my tail super fast. No Limits is here from the UK. I'm trying to sell golf balls in England. Another superstar. Hi, buddy. Hi. 2 waggy tails. 2 happy beans. Hi, guys. 2 superstars on the stream. What? How lucky are these guys? Hi. Hi. I know you love attention. You love attention. All right. So we're going to keep the Pels tutor to the side. So current streak. $250. We're going to do increments of 10 and see how many 5-footers we can make. See if we can continue pushing that PR higher. The other night, guys, we made 250 consecutive putts from 5 feet in here. We're going to see if we can keep that streak going. We didn't miss. We just ran out of time and had to turn the stream off. How much is the TaylorMade little bag behind you? Oh, this one, these Den Caddies, I think it was like $100, maybe $125 on the TaylorMade website. So definitely doable. Selling golf balls is good money. In a few days, I made $80. That's awesome. How did you do it? You just go out and find golf balls and clean them up? Does anyone live in England? Because I'm trying to sell golf balls. There you go. What's your largest putting streak, bud? Well, we're about to continue it. 250 that we've made in a row. Here we go. Kraken said 250. Nifty's here. What's up, Nifty? Preet Singh is here. Chase is here. Joker's here. What's up, guys? Appreciate you all saying hi. All right, so this is for 251. $251. This putt, as you can tell, guys, does break slightly to the left. When you buy a house that's over 100 years old, can't expect the floors to be perfectly level, so we've been practicing lots of, right edge, inside right putts as it breaks slightly to the left up the hill there. Do you have any codes for golf websites? Yes, if you're interested in the net return product that we use outside in our hitting net, or the RAPSODO mobile launch monitor, you can check out those links in the description of the live stream or in my bio here on YouTube. 253 we're going for here, guys. Let's go. Banging them in. What's your newest club? I do have one new club in the bag. It's a QI35 7-wood. One of my favorite clubs, guys. Having that much loft on a wood. I might mess around and get a 9-wood next season. Why not, guys? Just let's make golf as easy as possible. It's a par 3 course. There you go. Really good place to find golf balls. Anyone want to buy some golf balls? Hit up Carrie if you're looking for some refurbed golf balls. Nice. Lovely. I'm getting a QI35 Tour 7-wood. There you go, Elias. Very exciting. Always fun to get new equipment going in the bag. Come on now. 257. 258. What's your favorite golf brand? Mine is TaylorMade. Yeah, that's probably mine too, guys, if I'm being honest. I've had really, really good success with TaylorMade equipment over the years. I still have a whole bunch of it in my bag. My woods and hybrid. My irons still. Got a bunch of the old TaylorMade driver heads on display here behind me in my office. This is the old SLDR we gamed for a while. The stealth head that you guys saw me break, this actually gave out on me, cracked the face earlier in the season. But one of my favorite drivers ever was this old OG stealth. Not particularly forgiving, but went super far, low spin, nice and straight when you hit it solidly. This is an M1 head, one of the original carbon fiber crowns. I never particularly liked this one, or the M6. None of the M series drivers would I say I ever was fully in love with. But, yeah, they've been really good to me. Ninewood, does your boyfriend also like that club? That's funny. If it's good enough for, like, Colin Morikawa, DJ, probably good enough for us, guys. You don't have to make golf any harder than it needs to be. Your little friendly creator is here. Hello, my friend. How long have you been playing golf? Good question, Randall. I've been playing golf seriously for probably 18 years. Since high school, I would say. I started playing competitively in high school and got into tournament golf and played a little bit in college. And have ever since played a decent amount of competitive golf. Boom. And from the time I started playing golf seriously, I was pretty quickly playing in the single digits and then the low single digits. And basically for as long as I can remember, I've been no worse than like a 3 handicap. But also no better than like +1. So that's one of the goals I have for next season, is to really try to break through and take my handicap to a place it's never been before, closer to that +2, +3 territory. We've made 260 in a row here, guys. Pretty cool. He has a wife. I sure do, Elias. But that won't convince people who want to talk shit. Hey, Gwizzy's here. What's up, chat? You should spend some money on a haircut before you buy your husband some clubs. You know, Joker, I feel like these jokes might land somewhere else, but as a very secure and someone with very little tolerance for homophobia, I don't think you're going to get super far in here. Because if anybody out there thinks that you can tell someone's sexual orientation from their haircut, you're probably wrong. He's being mean. Ignore him. Yes, that is a really good approach, guys. But in this sort of format, I do feel obligated to push back. Boom. Also, kids were saying that when I was a kid. Like, oh, if you don't like something, just call it gay. That is the laziest way to try and tell somebody that you don't like what they're doing. Oh, I was afraid we might have hit that one not hard enough. It would have been a shame to end the streak by leaving one short. What's your handicap right now? 1.3. My jokes land, yours land in the rough. Oh, keep trying. I played on a golf sim for the first time. They're very inaccurate because when I hit the bottom of the screen with all my power, it went 30 yards. Yeah, sometimes they don't pick up the data or the ball perfectly. Some of it does depend, you'll learn, on which kind of simulator they have. There's a variety of types of devices and corresponding quality. I know, just leave them be. I think it works really well most of the time, Beast Sniper. But I also have people I'm very close to in my life who are gay, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, so I'm not going to tolerate that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, B Sniper, I totally agree with you. It's usually better to just leave these things be, right? If you guys watched the explanation video that I posted about that, the one viral video I've posted in my 10 months on YouTube is not even from this year and is about... Oops, I gotta make this last putt before I go raking all the balls. Boom. All right, that's 270. And so many of the comments on that video were like, I would have shot this man dead. I would have knocked him out. I hope you permanently injured him. So I felt obligated to post an explanation video to be like, hey, you know, violence or defending yourself is always an option. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's not the only option. You know, yelling really loudly at somebody or taking your camera phone out, those are self-defense mechanisms. You still have violence at your disposal, even if you try those things first. And also, I don't think people should mistake trying those things first for a lack of willingness to defend yourself. I unfortunately have been in physical altercations and had people trying to hurt me the same way I'm trying to hurt them. And it's not fun, guys. Nobody comes away from that being like, I want to keep doing that more. So once you've been in those situations, you become much more reticent to find yourself in them again. So that entire situation was diffused without anybody being arrested, any physical violence. Let me catch up really quick. Longest putt off the top of mind. I made like a maybe 60-footer. It's probably the longest. Depends on the brand. Like, what projector or thing that tracks your ball would you recommend? Well, TrackMan is going to be the best if you find a place that has what's called TrackMan. That's a very expensive, fancy Doppler radar tracking system. My bestie was thinking he was gay, and I was still his friend. Yeah, that's the right response, Elias. I think if you judge your friends by their sexual orientation, then you're probably not a very good friend, and vice versa. Let's get back to judging people by their character, how they treat other people. Are they nice? Do they treat you well? That sort of thing. What are you doing once you end your streak? I don't know. We got to do something. Some push-ups or... I did that challenge once. I did 10 push-ups for every putt I missed. We tried to get to 100. I think I made like 90 on the Pels Suitor on that narrowest setting. So that can be a good one to simulate some stress and... Boom. Get the heart rate up. My bad for the tunes. You sound like a good guy. Well, I appreciate you saying that, Joker. I appreciate your willingness to sing a different tune. Right, we're all in this together, guys. You might as well be supportive. It doesn't... No one else's success or happiness comes at your expense, right? I would suggest that you're better off. It's good for you. It's healthy to be excited for other people. If you make content and you see somebody else hits a milestone that you haven't reached yet, 10,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers, congratulate them. Say, hey, that's amazing. Great work. Instead of, you see some people go the other way, right? But that person's success isn't at your expense. And in the long run, it's much better for you and for everybody else to spread a little positivity and kindness. Hey, Liam's here. I got a lab putter too. Very cool. Troy Parrott 8. The GOAT. The hat trick he scored in a match. Okay. Golf guys are always so handsome. Thanks very much. My wife would certainly agree. Plumko, who would you like to buy some golf balls? My friends both have a lab and they're both under 3 handicaps. Yeah, I really have been a fan of it, guys. They don't sponsor me yet or anything. I just am a big fan of the product. I think it does what it says it's supposed to do. And I find it has given me a lot of confidence on the golf course to just feel like where I aim it is where the ball is going to go. And don't get me wrong, I have spent a lot of time. You guys have watched me for hours and hours and hours cumulatively now on the stream in here practicing. So there's certainly an element of that, right? The more you practice, the better you'll perform most of the time. Played the par 3 course, shot a steady 58. Very cool. Yeah, I was a dickhead for no reason. See, that's called growth right there, guys. That is, you know, not this specific interaction, but the whole reason why I'm so energized by making content and doing these live streams and sharing some of my stories and experiences, this opportunity to share some wisdom with people, especially in a format that is so, the internet is so derisive. It's built on tension and conflict and who can say the next craziest thing. But it doesn't have to be. We can be supportive and share our knowledge and experience in a way that helps people. Let's go. That's 280 in a row, guys. So for me, especially with my experiences around sobriety and dealing with my mental health and just being willing to have open discussions with people and say, yeah, this is what it's like when you stop drinking. It'll be I'm at almost 5 years since I last drank alcohol, guys. And I'm very proud of myself for that. It's not easy. I tell people I'm a retired professional. I was a very good drinker. And we have people who come and watch the streams or they watch my videos and they say, this is helping me. This inspired me to stop drinking myself or to make a change and start losing weight. You know, I used to be 230 pounds and really having a tough time, not managing my mental health very well. But I made a lot of big changes and I want to show people that it is possible to change your life. You can just start slowly, take little steps over a long period of time, consistent effort. That's how you accomplish things. It's not by staying up all night, working super hard and frenetically for days at a time. It's showing up for yourself, 30 minutes here, an hour here, there, for days and weeks and months, and you stack it all up and you're like, wow, I made a lot of progress. I look at photos of myself from 5 or 6 years ago and I'm like, that doesn't even look like the same person. Some of you guys have seen those shorts I've posted, and it's true, it doesn't look like me. I've transformed into a different, healthier, better version of myself. And I think a lot of people are wondering, how do you do that? I want to do something similar. I want to drink less. I want to be healthier. I want to have less anxiety or feel less depressed. And I've been there. I've had those same feelings of, man, I really wish I could not be where I'm at. How do I get to somewhere else? And it's just very simple, guys. One foot in front of the other, day after day. Sorry, guys, let me catch up. What's the max length out of your driver? Driver club head speed. If I max it out, I could get to like 115, 116 these days. But my driver's also cut down a little shorter. Rory said hi. Seb said hi. Kerry's coming back. Matt's here. How much was the putter? I don't remember. I got it used, though. So happy I came across this channel. Thanks, guys. That means a lot to me. Did you feel like you had a drinking problem, or was it just by choice that you quit drinking? Both. Both. I feel very fortunate. I didn't have the rock bottom moment, you know, the DUI or the waking up in jail. I didn't have the, you know, really hitting rock bottom moment. But I was headed there, and I knew I was, and I knew that for years and years and years, I drank more than other people, and I had a hard time, especially once I started. I was always the last one up drinking, right? You drink before the bar, you drink a ton at the bar, you drink after the bar, and then everybody else goes to bed, and you're still there on the couch, like with a, you know, half-drank beer, still trying to, you know, get as much of that stuff in your system as possible. That was always me. And I think people are reticent to talk about it this way, but
Alcohol was like gasoline to me. It was just pouring, nitrous into the engine. I could go and party and drink for days and days at a time. I'd stay up all night, go to bed drunk, wake up drunk, and be like, boom, lights are back on, let's start drinking again. Crack a beer, 10, 11 in the morning, and just keep going all day. So I just knew that it was headed to a bad place. And to be honest, I didn't have this grand plan of I'm going to quit forever or this is going to be, a big part of who I am. I knew I was like, I need 30 days. If I can make it to 30 days without alcohol, that'll be a really big challenge. I knew that was going to be super hard. I tried to do dry January before. That lasted like 5 or 6 days. I was not very good at turning it off. And I had this really intense, like 1 week bender. And I told myself, get through 30 days. See if you can make it to a month without drinking. And about 2 weeks in, it was maybe 20 days. I knew I was like, I'm not going back. If my body and my brain can feel this good without poison, which is what alcohol is, right? You're just poisoning yourself. I knew that I was just going to be so much better off. And I never went back. That was, almost 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in March. And I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but for today and for the last 1,700 and something days, I know that I'm a better person without alcohol, without drinking ever. So I have no intentions of going back and continuing to poison myself. I also did a lifetime's worth of drinking, I think, from the time I started in high school to when I quit at 26. I was drinking, when it got to as bad as it was, guys, probably between 60 and 80 drinks a week. So that's like 10 a day. I mean, that's like a pretty insane amount to be drinking and still have a functional career and things like that. So I'm really grateful for my sobriety. I don't take it for granted. It definitely is a lot of hard work. Sometimes it does really require effort at times. Sometimes it's as simple as like, you know what? I'm not going to drink for the next hour. Or like, let's just get to lunch and then we'll get to dinner. And you're just taking it one moment at a time. I think also recognizing like what are triggering things. I got some bad news recently about my knee. You guys have heard me talk about. And I had that voice inside of me, that moment of like the old version of you, the default response would have been like, cool, bad news, don't want to deal with it. Just go get as drunk as possible and you'll stop thinking about it for a while. It won't actually make the problem better. You might add some additional problems on top of it, but at least for a little, brief period of time, you won't have to deal with those emotions. And that's why alcohol is an incredibly good product. If you said, hey, I want to give you something that's going to turn off all your emotional requirements, it's an excellent product in that sense. It comes with lots and lots of terrible downsides, of course, but it is good at what it does. And part of what I had to do when I got sober was learning how to replace that, right? I needed other things to do, exercise and eating healthy, things to help me deal with my emotional regulation in a way that wasn't simply turn it off by getting drunk. Sorry guys, let me catch up here really quick. Up to 300 viewers, that's like a decent small concert. Thanks Tapas, appreciate you. Give in and drink. Well, if your comment was going to send me over the edge, then I'd be in a tough spot. Adam's here, 2 weeks today. Amazing, my dude. Everybody clap it up for Adam. 2 weeks into his sobriety journey. I'm super proud of you, my dude. I hit the sub, judged you too quickly, like your views just came into the stream too hot and not fitting the vibes. Well, that's awesome, Joker. We've turned somebody from a hater into a subscriber. That's a success story right there. Who makes a joke about... Hey, Tyneside is here. Congrats on quitting drinking. Took me 20 plus years, 2 interventions, 2 programs of marriage, family, friends, jobs, health, my dignity, lying, 4 days in county lockup, 2 years sober. Well, David, better late than never, right, my dude? I'm proud of you for 2 years. That's incredibly good work. And all we can do is look forward, right? I'll be back later. Thanks, Carrie. When are you doing an outside stream again? Hopefully tomorrow. Drinking daily is a problem. I only drink socially, but I understand you and I commend you for what you're doing. Good on you, bro. Awesome, Shane. Yeah, my message is not, guys, that everyone in the world needs to stop drinking or that me talking about my experience is going to eradicate alcohol from the planet. It's the most pervasive drug, the most socially acceptable drug that we have. And that's okay. But for some amount of people, like myself, there's either a genetic or a behavioral reason that they can't handle it. I just, for whatever reason, could never get enough booze. Just from the day I started, I was like, man, just give me more of this. I think that thing exists for everybody. For some people, it's, running marathons or cocaine or, all kinds of things that people have problems managing. Or nicotine, right? That's another one. Nicotine is incredibly addictive and took me, 10 plus years to quit. So everyone has a version of that thing. And unfortunately, alcohol is, like I said, extremely prevalent. It's very easy to acquire and has no social stigma, right? It is encouraged, in fact. When you tell people you quit drinking, they're like, oh, are you okay? What's wrong with you? As opposed to, like, if you told somebody you quit using some other drug, they would say, wow, great, I'm happy for you, congrats. So it really is a very interesting and unique drug and thing to talk about. But Shane, I think if you don't have problems, with managing it, then who am I to decide what somebody else should do and put into their body? Stay humble, says One Day Sober. That's amazing. This came at the right time, maybe he was trying to say. Elias said, love you, man. Thanks, Elias. Try some weed, nice and smooth. I do think that cannabis has a much lower harm index, and unlike alcohol, does have medicinal benefits, right? Especially for pain, for people who experience pain and are wary of things like opiates or traditional pain medication. Certainly, they're not really comparable, right? Alcohol has a much, much, much higher harm index than something like cannabis. I'm sober for as long as I've been alive, if anyone cares. That's amazing. You would suit a mullet, you should get one. I don't know, tell my wife that I should get a mullet. I don't know how that'll go. I do have my hair is pretty long at the minute. Are you a Trump fan? I can't say that I am. That Egypt said he owned the town of Doonbeg. One drink's too many and 1,000's not enough. Drinking was killing me. Quitting alcohol is the best decision I ever made. I'm so glad you said that, David. I say that to people all the time. It is, of all the decisions that I've made in my life, marrying my wife is up there, but quitting alcohol, I think, truly saved my life. I don't think I would be alive today. That's a hard thing to say out loud, right? To think, if I hadn't changed my behavior, I might not have survived to this moment. That all the experiences I've had since then in the last 4+ years, almost 5 years, that I wouldn't have had those. And I mentioned my wife, but, I haven't talked about this a ton, but I was still drinking when we first met. In our first 2 dates, I think, we were drinking socially or casually. And she certainly didn't know the extent of how much I was drinking or how frequently. But I met her, and it was one of those, truly, like you hear it about in the movies, like the girl walks in the bar or, across the restaurant, and you're like, whoa. Like, I've never seen a woman like that before. And after the first date, I was pretty sure that she was the one for me. And that was one of the biggest things that inspired me to stop drinking and at least try to, get it under control and ultimately to stop entirely, was meeting her. Because I knew that I was such a mess. I just had no shot at having a fulfilling, meaningful relationship with somebody who I thought was, beautiful and incredibly cool and engaging, if I was drinking to that extent. So sometimes you need those wake up moments to make a different choice. But I still had to make that choice and then do the work subsequently to maintain my sobriety, and I have, which I'm super proud of. Cannabis laws are definitely easing off in Europe. That's great to hear. Guess my swing speed. I'm going to go 110. Stop for golf, stayed for the engaging content. Thanks very much, High Mind. If you guys are enjoying hanging out, listening to these rants, hit that subscribe button for me. Boom. We're on a quest for 100,000 subscribers, and we're going to quit our job and do golf content and this kind of stuff full time as soon as I can. That's the goal anyway. Do I have any idea how I'm going to do that or what that's going to look like? Not really. But I do trust myself, and I've solved big problems before and been successful at things that I put my mind to, like we were just talking about with deciding to quit drinking or deciding to get in shape. Once I put my mind to something, guys, I'm usually pretty effective at making it happen. When I was at my heaviest, I weighed almost 230 pounds. And it was actually a competition with some guys I worked with at the time. And I think there was some money on the line. I forget what it was, but I had some motivation to lose as much weight as I possibly could. And I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. And then I lost another 30 pounds over the next 6 months. So I lost 60 pounds in, I think, 6 or 8 months, which I think most people and doctors would tell you is not very healthy. You're not supposed to do it that way. My counter argument is always, well, it's also unhealthy to be overweight. But the point is, talk to your doctor if you're going to, embark on a journey like that. But I just have so much confidence in myself to the point of almost being delusional of this is energizing to me. I get so much, it fills me up to hear people engage with my commentary and these experiences and have people say, this is helping. This is inspiring me, or I've had similar experiences. We're in this together, guys. As humans, as people. Did you see Anthony Kim shot 64 today? Similar story with alcohol and addiction. I did see that. Yeah, he is a really good example of it's never too late, right? He lost, 15 years of playing professional golf, and he's back at it, putting his mind to it, leaning into his sobriety and talking about that stuff, so I give him a ton of credit. 13 days in without drink, I'm trying my best. SWC, thank you so much for coming to drop that comment in. Congrats to you. Keep it up. Just one day at a time, right? Love to see it. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate that support. What if deja vu is just you losing a life and starting again at the last checkpoint? That's an interesting idea. Are you a tour pro? Landis says, I was lucky, drank a lot in college for fun, but never liked the taste of alcohol, so when hangovers turned into 2-day events, I more or less quit. That's awesome, Landis. It's good to have a reason like that to say, I just don't need this anymore. It's not serving me. I did that recently with caffeine, of all things, guys. I just kept waking up thinking, man, I just have this debt to pay. I have a 2-cup of coffee debt to pay every morning. And if I don't pay my debt, then I get a terrible headache and I can't function. And if I do pay it, then, yeah, sure, I enjoy drinking coffee and I like the taste, but it's not really doing much for me. And so I quit that probably 6 months ago. I haven't had any caffeine since. Sounds like a Tom Cruise movie. Absolutely helping me, man. I appreciate it. See, Adam's, doing the work right alongside us, guys. SWC, Adam, you guys are, I've been there. I've been there 2 weeks in, and I wish I had something like this where I could check in and say, yeah, these guys are doing it with me. We're on the same journey. It's not just, me in my apartment on a Friday night, because I used to go out and party, it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are the drinking days. And simply because it was that day of the week, I was like, well, I got to go to the bar and get drunk. So when I stopped, I found myself just sitting around, I got a crossword puzzle book, which wasn't a thing I was into or doing. It was just okay, I need to pass the time because it's Friday night and I'm not drinking anymore. So what do I do? So I wish there was something like this. If I had found, a live streamer or somebody to, almost just have a place to hang out. And if I can create that and offer that, and that's a value to even a single person or a couple people out there, then hell, we'll keep doing it, guys. I got to work on my putting anyway. Like up the dude stream. Thanks so much, Nathan. Yeah, you guys can hit that like button if you want. Really does help us out. Red or blue? I thought, is that a question for me? Sorry, guys, if I missed your questions, there's a whole bunch of them coming in, so just drop it back in the chat for me. Swing speed is 120. That's amazing. L3133 said hi. Hello. Length in the modern game is definitely half the battle. I agree with that. I'm an everyday drinker, and I'll never change. It's a mute conversation. Let's just golf. Well, Sycamore, that can be okay for you, right? I'm not here to dictate to anyone what they should or shouldn't do with their own life. I'm just here to talk about my experiences and the things I've learned and how far I've come in my journey. There's no pressure. It's, you know, my message is not, I did this and that's the best thing for everyone. It's not. My life is unique the same way yours is. My history and the experiences and trauma that I've gone through, that's unique to me. Everyone has their version of that. But that doesn't change the fact that for me, I'm a better person without drinking. The sniper's got to go. Thanks for being here, my friend. Do you use extra stiff or just extra stiff? Yeah, just X. I don't have any. I've swung like Tor X, you know, the TX flex that comes after X. I've swung some of those before, and they are too stout for me. I really think you got to be in like the mid 120s to need that kind of flex. Golf helps a lot too, seeing immediate results in my golf swings after not drinking. Yeah, it's crazy, right? We all convince ourselves, it's just rationalization, right? If you take a step back and you think, well, I'm playing this sport that requires a high degree of hand-eye coordination. I'm trying to hit a very small ball with an even smaller sweet spot on this piece of metal that I'm swinging into the ground at over 100 miles an hour. And then I'm going to introduce a poison into my body that reduces dramatically my hand-eye coordination ability, my depth perception, all these things, my balance, and then I'm going to perform better at that activity. Like, that doesn't make any sense on its face. Liam wants to know, what's your sports hot take? Ooh, good one. My sports hot take is we should get rid of all instant replay pretty much in every sport, like forever. Like, just go back to having umpires and referees decide things in real time, and if it looks like he caught it and they call it a catch, then it's a catch. And if they call it not a catch and it looks like it hit the ground, who cares? Incomplete, keep it moving. I hate the, like, we're going to stop everything for 15 minutes. We're going to watch this man look at a small monitor and decide frame by frame in super slow motion, like, was the ball moving? Was it touching his elbow? Did it hit the paint on the turf on the side? Like, that to me is not entertaining. I would much rather deal with the downsides of, you know, professional referees and umpires than the issues that we have with replay. That's my hot take. Alice Cooper is a great example of what John is doing too. I use extra stiff. There you go. Hey, Anderson's here. I use clubs. Anderson's birthday. Happy birthday, my dude. Guys, also, we just made 300 consecutive 5-footers. That's pretty cool. Definitely have never made this many in a row. That's interesting. Thanks for what you're doing. Keep up the good work. I'm working the range, so I'll holler later. Adam, thank you so much for being here, my dude. Keep up the great work. Congrats on your 2 weeks. Is that a lab putter? It is a lab putter. Definitely a contentious issue is VAR, TMO, etc. There you go. My high is 197. And 197 is good, Liam. That's a lot, dude. One thing, too, that I had to learn when I quit drinking, guys, was your life can be so peaceful. I think part of me thought I was thriving in the chaos, the frenetic energy, the, you know, bouncing around from one thing to the next, from one bar to the next, and never fully having a good handle on where things are going, and you're kind of keeping all the plates spinning, but just barely. And my life isn't like that anymore. And it's way nicer. It's just much more peaceful, and I don't have the same stress about, man, did I make a fool of myself last night? What dumb thing did I say? What am I not remembering? There's so many beautiful benefits that I have found from embarking on this journey of trying to become the best version of myself. And I'm still on that journey. I don't always live up to my own standards, but I know that by setting high standards for myself and pushing myself to accomplish things that might seem difficult or out of reach in the current moment, but I know that over a long enough period of time, they are achievable. Pushing myself to accomplish those things has made me more resilient. I'm better at solving problems that come up in my day-to-day life. I'm better at managing my stress and things that I deal with, like ADHD and depression. These are parts of my human experience, but the journey that I have gone through, and a large part of that driven by being in recovery, is learning a skill set. The skill set is, how do I actually get better at something, right? Hey, Anderson's got the MLM2 Pro. That's exciting. Let me know what you think about it. I've never missed a 5-footer. My streak is about 100,000. There you go. Good for you, bro. Thanks, Ant. Sycamore says, alcohol was bad to you. Well, I think it does what it does, right? It doesn't have intentions or emotions. It's just the substance. And for whatever reason, whether that's genetic or behavioral, I was predisposed to alcoholism, to continuing to imbibe and consume more and more and more. Anything under 7 feet is good. We got to play golf with Chief, guys. I'll be shooting in the low 60s pretty soon. I like that saying, though. Somebody said earlier, 1 drink is too many and 1,000 was never enough. That is how I felt about my relationship with alcohol. I couldn't get enough. I believe we should normalize alcohol to young people rather than portraying it as a big bad substance, hence making it more appealing. It's an interesting perspective, Liam. My perspective is a little different in that I think we should, I don't know about exposure, but education, right? Help people understand, hey, just because this is prevalent and everyone is doing it, doesn't mean that there aren't health effects and long-term side effects that you need to be aware of. There's impacts on people whose brains are still developing, so that's pretty much everybody up until the age of 25. I wish I had made informed decisions. I'm not convinced I would have made different decisions, but I wish we spent more time, to your point, Liam, as opposed to trying to convince people like, this is bad, you shouldn't do it, because I've been there, I was a teenager, and you think, oh, you're telling me it's bad? All it makes me want to do is try it more. But I do think we could just give very sober, not using a bad pun, but, clear, data-driven education to say, hey, this is what could happen. You might be totally fine. But for some percentage of people, they're going to have really a lot of problems. And we can't tell you where on the spectrum you're going to land, but understand that these are the risk factors and the things that could happen. Falls under the same umbrella. Alcohol consumption is at the lowest point. Everyone just vapes now. Well, it is going down, which I think is to my point, in large part because of education. People understand that this isn't a harmless hobby. It is going to impact your sleep and your recovery and your athletic performance. So if you are inclined to optimize at any level those parts of your life, it's really hard to fit alcohol into that. If you're out there saying, no, dude, I just want to do my thing and have a couple drinks and chill out, there's nothing wrong with that, conceptually, to me. drink but do it responsibly. That's my point of view. There you go. Take the French, for example. They drink wine age 14 and fewer have alcohol problems. I'm not disagreeing, Liam. I think there is definitely something to how we stigmatize these things and the extent to which it impacts outcomes, right? How often people are using these drugs, how prevalent they are, how socially acceptable they are. Vaping is a massive problem in the UK and Ireland. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Hey, Carrie's here. No more than 6 drinks per round. Yeah, I used to have those kinds of rules for myself too. Let's go, guys. Well over 300 made putts in a row. Do you happen to drink a lot? Each cocktail takes a stroke off my round. I start as a 4 handicap. There you go. Can we get off of the alcohol and get back to golf? I can drink a 12-pack and shoot a 78, so it's all good. Well, Sycamore, I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable with this discussion, but it is a thing that I'm going to continue talking about. And far from being my place to diagnose anybody, but I used to be that guy too. I used to drink a dozen beers during a round of golf and think it was totally fine because I could still shoot good scores. That doesn't mean that's true. And if you're feeling defensive about how much you're drinking, that might be an indication that you know deep down that there might be something you want to change. And again, I'm not here to dictate to anybody what they should or shouldn't do. Let's be clear about that. But it is okay to raise your hand and say, hey guys, I want to drink less, or I wish my life was different. And there are things you can do to accomplish that. There are steps you can take. There are support systems you can leverage. Boom. Come on, guys. We are on such a good roll right now. This is for 309. Anderson, good luck in your tournament tomorrow, my friend. Funny is here. I have to study for an exam. No fun. Funny to Funny is here. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Good scores doesn't mean good health. That's exactly right, Ryan. I agree with that very much. Oh boy, that was a little loose. Didn't give that one our best roll. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't already. Really does help us out. Definitely don't want to change a thing. It's all good. There you go. 310 in a row. This, guys, is the extremely official scoreboard tracker. Doesn't get any more official than this. 310 in a row. That's 250 from the other night and 60 so far today. I'm new here. Are you trying to go pro? I'm not trying to go pro, guys. I'm a washed up mid-am former college golfer who, no, I have no delusions of trying to be a professional golfer. I do have delusions of trying to be a professional content creator using golf as a vehicle to talk about these things, right? We're talking about my experience with alcohol and sobriety right now, but we've talked about mental health stuff, and I make content about going to therapy and what that's like. My channel or my content, right, the reason that I do this is to use golf as a container or a platform or a vehicle to talk about these things. Golf is such a wonderful metaphor for life in a lot of ways, but it's my personal belief that the stigma that exists around mental health, around seeking treatment for mental health, seeking treatment for alcohol or substance use, has a harmful stigma. I've experienced it. I've been in those moments and thought, wow, this could feel better. And if we don't openly talk about these things, that stigma will never change. So I want people to understand through my content and through listening to me talk that these are normal issues that millions and millions of people, past, present, and future, have experienced. And that in conjunction with that, we can talk about them openly and what are the things we can do about them, what are the proactive steps, the things we can do to make progress in our lives, and at the same time destigmatize or try to make people feel more comfortable expressing that they've gone through those similar experiences and that they're going to, try to make a change or try to get something, going in a different direction. I don't have all the answers, guys, but I have made a lot of changes in my own life that have made me a better, happier, more fulfilled, more productive, more successful person. And using golf as a vehicle to talk about that stuff is awesome. Damn, I was 25 years sober till I tuned in here. I'm blacking out tonight. Well, that seems unlikely. Good for you, Unreal. Keep going. We're rooting for you. Thanks very much, Ryan. Chat, what are your sports hot takes? Broncos win the Super Bowl. That is a hot take. Start again. If you relapse, you can start again. That's exactly right, Ryan. I don't think that listening to me would cause somebody to relapse. I'm definitely not advocating that people go out and drink. But that is the good thing, right? You just because you have a setback or something doesn't go the way you want it to, or you have a relapse, you can still control the go forward. You have no control over things that have already happened in the past, and you have no control over things that will happen in the future. But you can control what you do today. We only get to live one day at a time, guys. There's something really beautiful about that. So just do the absolute best you can every single day. That's how you make progress in things. Truly one day at a time. I know it sounds stupid, but golf is a good form of personal relief in life. It offers challenges and rewards. Plus, you can do it by yourself. You don't need an entire team. Well said, Sycamore. I think golf is an awesome vehicle to talk about these things. Come on. Ooh, not our best, but we got that one to go. Do people actually play rounds by themselves? Oh, definitely, yeah. I play golf by myself all the time, guys. It's almost like a different experience. It's very serene and peaceful. I really enjoy playing golf by myself. Doesn't have to be a group activity. Just like going to the movies. I like going to the movies by myself sometimes. Doesn't have to be a group activity. I think there's a lot of value to be found in learning how to be comfortable with yourself, how to hang out with yourself, and to truly love yourself, right? I had to learn how to do that, how to be comfortable in my own skin before I could really, have meaningful relationships and embark on some of these transformations that I've talked about. Playing solo is fun. There you go. I'll tell you mine. I think the box kick in rugby is absolutely useless. Give away possession for 20 yards territory. I'll never understand. There you go. Play by myself occasionally. Oh, amazing. John Shaw received a gift membership. Unreal. Thank you so much. That's very cool, gifting a membership. It doesn't sound stupid. It's something people like you inspire me to work towards, that mindset of controlling what you can and not thinking about what you can't. There you go. I'll give you a sub. You seem like you're tired right now. I don't know why. That was a random gift. Well, very cool, Unreal. I appreciate that very much. Everybody drop some claps in the chat. Claps are a W for Unreal. Very, very cool stuff, guys. Right down Broadway. That's 315 makes in a row. Make it clap. Who's your favorite YouTube golfer? Good question. I think Bryson right now. I think what he's doing with YouTube is super cool. To build a platform where he could, succeed as a professional golfer without a tour. To just use YouTube as a platform and build the things he's built, I think is very, very cool to watch. Plus, I just love how far he hits it. I think it's very fun watching him. Grant Horvat is up there, but Bryson on top. So Ryan agrees with me. Very cool. I met George Bryan once. He was a very cool guy. I'd love to collaborate with the Bryan Bros sometime. Boom. Grant's teeth are too bright. That's funny. It's a good problem to have, right? If people are like, man, I love that guy, but his teeth, they're just too nice. He does have an excellent smile. I think that's why people enjoy his content so much, right? It's just that infectious. He seems really grateful to be out there doing it. He seems happy in his life, and that translates on camera. When you're satisfied and content and not restless, right? They talk about in recovery, alcohol is just a symptom, right? It's masking the feeling of restlessness and not being comfortable in your own skin. That was certainly true for me. And I think it's really important that people understand that it's not always just the substance, right? It's the underlying discontent that can be really problematic. Tommy Jordan, probably an iron in the world is Grant for me. Tommy Jordan's great. He's a really good player. It's cool how Bryson's flipped the script with a little. I feel like he changed a lot of people's mind on him. I totally agree with that, right? He had a pretty negative public persona or connotation before he went on a big transformation, and a lot of that story resonates with me. You know, it seems like, again, I've never met the man. I would love to spend some time or film some content with him someday. It seems like he said, in much the same way I said, hey, I'm not pumped about the version of myself that I am right now. I'm going to do a bunch of things and transform, hopefully, into a different, better, more entertaining, more engaging version. And it seems to have worked. He seems to have really pulled it off very effectively. Also, guys, 320 consecutive putts in a row. Drop a like for 320. I never disliked Bryson, just he's definitely a better man. Yeah, I think so too. It does seem that way for sure. Also, guys, if you want access to, special content and early access to the long-form videos, all kinds of cool stuff, check out the channel memberships. Unreal just gifted a membership, which was amazing. But you guys can check those out if you want to learn more and support the channel, all the cool stuff we're working on. Let's go. 321. 321. $322. No way you haven't missed the putt. Jeez. Yeah. Again, I practice this a lot, guys. Who do you think will win the Olympic golf medals in 28? So hard to know. If you told me to pick right now, I would say Rory or Scotty. Feels hard to imagine somebody else. But again, that's a long way from now, guys. Lots of things can change. Golf is extremely cyclical, and that's why long-term continued success is so rare. Quit counting, you'll miss. Yeah. How can you miss, though? How can you miss? Well, you could not hit it the right speed, or you could close or open the club face so that it doesn't launch. Remember Rory choked in Paris? Yeah. Ben, I'm sure you'd miss. I do think Rory post career Grand Slam, though, is maybe a little different. Boom. Still doing it, guys. That's 325. $326. Who's your favorite golf player? I think Ludwig right now, guys. Ludwig Oberg. He's got a beautiful golf swing. I love how fast he plays. Seems like a really, really solid dude. He would probably be my number one tour player at the moment. All time, it's got to be Tiger Woods. I mean, as as a child of the late 1900s, I grew up watching Tiger Woods play golf, and he's a huge part of why I have played it for as long as I have. I think an Olympic medal would be incredible for Rory. He's always struggled with his identity. Incredible for Iwan as well, given that I totally agree with that. Definitely. Let's go. Drippy. This is for 330 in a row from 5 feet. Oh. Come on now, guys. Let's go. Kid can't miss tonight. Playing fast is a great skill. Says a lot about their confidence. Totally agree with you, Sycamore. It's also, I think it's good for everybody. Everybody should play fast. Not because it's like, oh, it's annoying if you play slow. There's just lots and lots of data now that says the faster you play, the less time you stand over the ball, the better your likelihood of success on the golf course, especially on the putting green. What's your handicap? I'm at 1.3 right now. Make one with your eyes closed. We can do that. Ready? So there's no, well, that's not even going to necessarily prove anything. How about this? I'll close my eyes and look at the camera so that you guys can know for sure. The other thing is it feels awkward. Eyes closed. Boom. See? 331, just like that. Let's do it again. Close the eyes. Boom. Nothing to it. Rory's little girl is so cute. Yeah. He does have a very cute family. The irrelevant major. Oof. I think I'd probably go Olympic gold medal, to be honest. Hell yeah, let's go. There you go. Pretty handy with a putter, apparently. Agree with that. Nice shot. Thanks, Marcelo. Appreciate you being here, my dude. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. It really does help me out. We are on a streak of over 330 made putts in a row. Boom. Can't stop, won't stop. Am I right? No! Oh, after all that, I left it short. After all that, I left it short. So that's, is it 333? Yeah, that's crazy. 333, damn, is the new channel record. That's crazy. Didn't expect to miss like that. Damn. Totally agree, Sycamore. Who's your favorite U.S. player on tour? Good question. Probably Jordan Spieth. Just always have loved watching him play golf. We're about the same age. 333 is a fun number, though. Yeah, that's because you got fancy. Could be. That one wasn't even with the eyes closed. That was just didn't hit it hard enough, guys. That's a brutal. Marcelo is from Mexico, in Monterrey. Mucho gusto, amigo. Si quieres, yo puedo hablar poquito de español contigo. Pero en ese momento para mí es difícil practicar. Entonces, mi capacidad no es como fue hace unos 10 años, cuando estaba estudiando en España y hablando en español cada día. Hablas bien. Muchas gracias, amigo. All right, guys, so this is our channel record. You guys saw it. 333 consecutive putts in a row from 5 feet. That reminded me I have a Spanish test on Wednesday. Well, that's a good reminder. Debes practicar y estudiar. Guys, very, very cool. This is very fun for me. 333 consecutive putts in a row. This is going to be a very high bar for us to meet on another stream. See if we can beat this. But you guys saw it and you're here for us. What's up? Say in English. What's up? Luck for your test. There you go. Pero es año dos. Muy bien, amigo. Well, keep practicing, keep studying. I'm sure you'll do great, Liam. You can learn a lot just by listening to people speak. You know, find a Spanish language podcast that you like or a TV show that you already know about. You know, you actually read it. Thank you. You're welcome, Devin. I barely study for Spanish. Well, if you don't need to study, then who am I to tell you what to do? I didn't study much in school either, guys. And I still did well. All right, my friends, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you all so much. Drop a like for over 300 consecutive putts. Really appreciate everyone's support. We've got some new videos coming out. What's the highest number that you made? This is the highest number, guys. This is the new record on the channel that we've ever made. I've never made this many consecutive putts before. Prior to this, it was in the 220s. The longest streak we've made. I just cook. What can I say? That's funny. Guys, seriously, thank you so much for all the support in the channel recently. We've had a ton of growth. I think over 300% in the last month, so I'm incredibly blown away by all the support. Couldn't do without you guys. We're coming up on 10,000. That's our next milestone here on the channel. So we're going to keep putting the work in. If you guys want to follow along, hit that subscribe button for me. Drop a like, and we will see you the next time for another stream.